No, you have to call the TV.
Oh.
You have to call the TV.
TV 18, we're ready.
We're going to hereby call this to order. Good morning. I am the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate for today's hearing. I want to begin by explaining how the process is going to work. Generally, I hear the building cases on the agenda first, then the city will call the cases in the order in which they appear on the agenda. If you have appeared at today's hearing, your case will be called before those where no one has appeared, but that is only true if you have signed in. So if you have not signed in, please check with an officer at the rear of the chamber. Once your case is called, I ask that you come down to the podium on my right-hand side, which is over here. The city will put on its testimony and evidence first. You'll have an opportunity to review this evidence and ask questions of any of the city's witnesses. You'll also have an opportunity to then testify or present me with your own evidence. Once I have all the testimony and evidence, I will make a ruling. I will enter a written order either today at the hearing or in the next few days, which you will receive a copy of. If you have any questions as we go through the process, please feel free to ask them. This is not a formal courtroom. The formal rules of evidence do not apply here. However, although this is not a formal courtroom, all testimony is taken under oath under penalty of perjury. So if you're going to testify or you think you might testify, or there's a possibility that you might testify, I'm going to ask that you stand and raise your right hand so that I can swear you in. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of Florida? Yes. Please be seated. The city can call their first case.
Number 4, case number CE25114419, address 2029 Ware Drive.
Is there somebody here for this case?
Yes.
When you hear your case called, just go ahead and proceed to the podium right here. Go ahead, sir.
Good morning. Joseph LaPerna, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. On November 24th, 2025, at approximately 10:20 a.m. while on routine patrol, my attention was called to the residential property located at 2029 Ware Drive in West Palm Beach. There were several violations noted, and contact was made with the owner and tenant of the property regarding the violations. The notice of violation was posted on the property November 24th, 2025. Certified and regular mail were sent on November 26th, 2025. Certified mail was received on December 3rd, 2025. The affidavit of posting was completed and filed on November 24th, 2025, and is in the case file. On January 20th, 2026, I revisited the property for an inspection prior to today's hearing and found the property to be in full compliance, taking photographs of the resolved issues. However, the violation in the notice of violation in this case was a repeat violation from code case CE 2105-0409. Several other violations that were not repeat violations were listed in another case and have been closed as those violations were brought into compliance, for a total of 8 violations total and resolved on this property. Section 26-35 repeat violations. The violation in question is 34-102B, abandoned or inoperative vehicles in view of the general public. I took photographs at the initial investigation on November 24, 2025, and again on January 20, 2026. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations and corrections I observed during the course of my investigation. I spoke with the tenant several times in person and over the phone with Mr. Nugent, the owner, who is here, during the course of the investigation. He explained that he has done his best to have his tenants keep the property in a respectable condition. Considering the property in this case is now in full compliance and within the time requested, it does remain the property was in violation of the repeat violation from the time of the initial investigation on November 24, 2025, until my inspection on December 30th, 2025. So for the 36 days that the property was in violation, a repeat violation, the city is requesting a fine of $25 per day or $900.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Hui Nguyen.
And you're the owner of the property, sir?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any objections to the photographs or documents the city would like to put in evidence?
No objection, sir.
Without objection, so admitted. The floor is yours, sir. Go ahead.
It's kind of hard to explain, but between us and the tenant, we really try our best. The only excuse I have is that the tenant thinks that he has, a temporary right to bring his kids to the front yard and they play in the front yard. And, at the end of the day, he said he would clean up everything that the inspector found. When I talked to the tenant, he always said that, yes, but those are the things that I will throw out. And he just caught me at the bad time. And that was a regular issues. And prior to the inspector had issue with this, during the other times, when I see that, he does say that, he did come back and clean up his mess after. He had, the young kids playing in the front yard. So, his reasoning was, periodically he has a right to use the front yard to do whatever. And then, so that's been the biggest issue that we encounter, because the tenant just thinks that he can do that on a temporary basis. And it's just unlucky that he got caught. But, we have this tenant for a long time. We never raised rent on him, just so that he can keep his family there and being able to raise his kids. So, that's the situation we're in.
Yeah, I mean, he still has to, the property still has to be maintained according to the code.
Understood.
I'll give you a little bit of a break, but it is a repeat violation, so I do have to issue a fine in this case. But, if it comes back for a third time, I don't think there's going to be any more, any breaks at all. So you're going to have to make sure you communicate to your tenant, what the requirements are to be there.
Yeah, we do, sir.
All right. In case CE 25114419, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property having been in violation of 34-102B. I find that said violation constitutes a repeat violation under 2635 of the City Code. I issue a fine in the amount of $20 a day for out of compliance for 36 days for a total fine of $720. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 27, case number CE 25114373, address 231 Linton Court.
Good morning. Richard Pazmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The property at 231 Lytton Court was cited on November 19th, 2025. I discovered this property while patrolling my assigned zone. A notice violation was created. It was posted at the property on November 10th, 2025. Affidavit of posting is completed and attached in the file. Certified mail was sent out November 21st, 2025. The property was cited for 7894C for swales and parkways requiring landscaping, 94302B1 fence height excessive. There is a rear fence on the street over at Winona Place that is over 6 feet. It can only be 48 inches at the rear setback since it is a main street. 78-1, obstruction of the right-of-way. There was items stored on the front sidewalk. 94302A3 for fence permits. There was changes to the fence at the rear, that one, and the wall and gates at the front of the property without any fence permit history in our file. The code section 78-1 has complied. The pots and items were removed from the sidewalk, fixing the obstructions. I have had contact with a representative for the owner who lives out of state. We discussed the violations and a plan to address Everything needs permits, and with the property being historic, it does require variances. There hasn't been any further communication or plans. There's no permits on file. The city is recommending 90 additional days to comply with these violations, or we're asking for a fine of $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir. And considering the circumstances, do you believe 90 days is a reasonable amount of time for the property owner to come in compliance?
I think I need to hear what they have in plan. It may take longer depending on the variance.
Understood. Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Sure. Walter Hyde III. I'm a registered architect. Here to represent
Walter,
the owner as an agent.
I'm sorry, what was your last name?
Walter Hyde, Hyde. Just a quick basic question.
Mr. Hyde, can you again tell me what your position is with the owner?
Yeah, I'm his agent. So he hired us at our architecture firm to assist with alleviating the issues on the property. As he noted, this is a historically designated property. Has some unique characteristics. It has 2 front yards. So the backyard actually leads to a street, which is also the front yard for other residences on that street. We do plan to have something for February submission, which would get us in front of the Historic Preservation Board in March. Typically, with variances, there could be a little back and forth, so we might have to go back in April. If we can get an extra 30 days, I think that would be very helpful.
So you're asking for 120 days?
If you think that's not a big deal, that would help us out a lot, I believe.
I have no objection to 120.
All right, I'll give you the 120. You understand what needs to be done and what the violations are?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, in case CE 25114373. Oh, I guess for the record, did you have any objection to the documents the city wanted to put in evidence?
No, sir.
All right, so admitted. In case CE 25114373, I make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient, I find the property in violation of 7894C, 94302B1, and 94302A3. Give the respondent 120 days to come into compliance, or a fine of $100 per day may issue. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Number 28, case number CE 25124477, address 7900 Martin Avenue.
I believe they have to be sworn in.
Were you here when we started and were sworn in?
I'm sorry, this is our first time going through this.
Can you both raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate under penalty of perjury on the laws of the state of Florida?
Yes.
Richard Pazmino, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. This property was cited on December 8th, 2025 as a result of a complaint that was received. The property was posted on December 9th, 2025. The affidavit of posting is completed and attached in the file. Certified mail and regular mail was also sent on December 15th, 2025. It was signed and received on December 19th. The property was cited for multiple violations. As of today, the remaining violation being heard is 94302A4 for fence wall maintenance. There's a wooden fence at the rear of the property that is in disrepair. The owner has done some repairs to it to secure it and make sure it's standing, but it still needs to be repaired completely. I have spoke to the owner who's here today. He took care of all the other violations in a timely manner, secured the fence, but is needing additional time. The city is recommending 60 additional days to comply with the remaining violation, or we're asking for a fine of $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
Can you tell me your names, please?
My name is Mark Vincent.
My name is Carly Kupchar.
Sorry, ma'am, can you spell your last name for me?
Kepchar.
And you're the owner of the property, ma'am?
Yes.
Do you have any objections to the documents or photos the city would like to put in evidence?
No.
No.
Without objection, so admitted. The city wants to give you an additional 60 days to repair the fence. Is that a sufficient amount of time for you, sir?
We were going to hopefully ask for 120 days because we're looking to find a fence builder that can possibly get us a permit. We are also looking into getting a builder/owner permit ourselves to expedite the process of getting a new fence. And
Why would you need 4 months for that?
due to the back and forth, possibly every fence company that could get us a permit says that it could do it possibly in 2 months just in the permit process, and then the building scheduling and stuff like that could possibly go even further.
What's the city's position?
The city has no objection because it does require permit approval and issuance before the work can be started.
Okay. CE 25124477, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 94302A4, a fence in need of maintenance. Respondent has 120 days to bring the property in compliance, or a fine of up to $100 per day may issue. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Number 29, case number CE 25114-357, address 236 Winona Place.
Good morning. Richard Pazmino, Code Enforcement Officer, City West Palm Beach. On November 13th, I visited 236 Winona Place in response to a complaint regarding off-street parking. The original complaint was referred to multiple departments who are more appropriate for the issue. And while on site, I observed multiple violations unrelated to the complaint. I revisited the property on January 16th, 2026, and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code sections. 18106B for excessive growth, specifically vegetation growing onto the structure. 94302A3, a fence gate permit required. While investigating and researching the property, it was determined that the entrance fence gate was installed without a permit. There were no fence permits on file for this property. And as of 1/16, there is still no permit in our system, and the fence remains. 94446-2C for tree abuse, specifically for screws, items that are screwed into the trunk of the palm tree. Service was accomplished by certified and regular mail that was sent on November 20th, 2025. It was received and signed for on November 24th, 2025. In addition, the property was posted on November 18th, 2025. I completed an affidavit of posting, which is attached to the case file. The photos that you were seeing were taken by me. They accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed during my investigation. I have had contact with Mr. David Durrance, who's here today, via email correspondence, which is also attached in the case file. The city's requesting 60 additional days to comply the remaining violations, or we're asking for a fine of $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate of the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. David Durrance.
Mr. Durrance, do you have any objections to the photographs or documents the city would like to put in evidence?
No objections.
That objection, so admitted. So tell me what's going on.
Mr. Pazmino failed to acknowledge from the laundry list of items that he submitted as violations, which I feel are grossly fraudulent, the amount of items that I did address from the original list that he sent you. I also feel that this complaint should be dismissed for the following reasons. He misled the magistrate with filed paperwork. The complaint received about the condition of the property is what he filed with you, and I have exhibits here, so I don't know how to give those to you, but the complaint...
Anything that you'd like me to see, you need to show the officer first and let the city attorney take a look at it and see if they object. If they don't, then I'll take a look at it.
Okay. So I have about 4 exhibits here. Should I show them all at the same time?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All of my exhibits were printed directly from the city's website or from public information requests. What he's looking at now is Exhibit B, where he misled you with his filed paperwork saying that a complaint was received about the condition of the property. In Exhibit A, an email from Mr. Pasmino, he states, complaint was regarding vehicles. Violations you received were officer initiated. So there were no complaints from any resident about the condition of my property. It was about some vehicles
Mr.
parked
Durant,
out
just
front.
to save us some time, in his presentation, he said that the initial complaint was about off-street parking and that he observed the violations when he was there. So I don't think there's any issue here.
Okay, but it does differ from what he filed with the court.
Oh, what he testified to today was that there was a complaint about off-street parking and that he observed them while he was there.
Okay. The second reason is charges filed with the magistrate include items that were not given in the notice of violation. Exhibit B addresses, he states, address characters are not visible from the street. Again, I have photos of everything. That was not given to me in the violation notice. And in fact, the character address is 2 feet tall.
Mr. Durant, just to save time, that issue is not before me. There's only 3 code sections before me.
Okay, I'm just trying to paint a picture of what this whole situation about how many things I was cited for.
Yeah, I can sense you're frustrated, and I appreciate. First, does the city have any objection to these documents?
No objection.
Okay, I'll admit them as respondents' exhibits A, B, C, and D.
Okay,
So for my purposes, the only thing that's in front of me is excessive growth, fence permit, and tree abuse.
Right, but this is the reason why the reason why I wanted to make an appearance is to bring something to light that I believe is a serious violation here.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
was targeted, and many of these items were fabricated to include comments such as unsanitary. I have no idea what he's talking about in terms of overgrowth visible from the street. There's a vine that's about 2 inches, 2.5 inches tall. If you go back to your photo, maybe you can enlighten us as to what you looked at behind my
Hold on 1
hedge.
second. Let's deal with it one at a time. All right. So the respondent is contesting the 18106B violation. Officer Pizzamino, can you show us the photo in which you documented that?
Yeah, I think our system is processing it.
Yeah, this is regarding the growth.
Yeah, 18106B. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, while she's looking that up, can you describe
Yes.
what it is that you saw?
So in the notice, I had cited 18106B. Under the specific details, I put the vegetation on the property is extremely overgrown. In the corrective action, said cut the overgrowth of grasses, weeds, trees, etc. on the property to a height of no more than 6 inches and remove all excessive growth from trees, bushes, etc. Cut and remove all overgrown vines from the structure. In the initial inspection, the vines I observed on the structure, visible from the street, they remained on my reinspection on January 16th.
Are you referring to vines at the roof line?
Yes, along the fascia board of the roof.
Those there's 3 of them. They're about 2.5 inches in height. They're on a bamboo structure. I'm trying to encourage vine growth, as many properties throughout the entire city do, on walls and everything else. And in fact, in my pictures, I have multiple properties that do this.
So that was the only remaining section. If that could be re-inspected, the trees and the other overgrowth was fixed.
Okay, so we're just talking about the vines on the roof. Can we see the photo
Yeah.
on that?
But I'd like to address the more serious issue here, which is that I was targeted in this, and I have some very interesting information on this. The individual who made the complaint to Officer Pasmino was a West Palm Beach city employee in zoning who was fired by the city of West Palm Beach during probation for unsatisfactory performance. He was then employed to work for Palm Beach County zoning. He used Palm Beach County zoning government letterhead, email, and his phone number as a zoning official to coerce West Palm Beach Code to take action when interacting with Mr. Pasmino. The complaint was a building official. The complainant was a building official with Palm Beach County and clearly aware that concealing his identity when submitting code complaints is illegal. But for some reason, he felt comfortable enough to make the request to keep his identity private. The complainant's email to Mr. Pasmino dated 10/23/25 states, "Would like to report in confidence." He even asked Mr. Pasmino to investigate us and our business as a favor in multiple emails. Complainant's email to Mr. Pasmino dated 10/23/25. "Investigate what type of business is going on there, please. Much appreciated." Mr. Pasmino's response, "Thank you, Mr. Bond. I will be investigating this next week and I will update you then." Keep in mind, I have never met or even spoken with the complainant. I have been at my property for over 22 years with one hedge violation 10 years ago. But the complainant had an axe to grind. Just prior to filing complaints against my property, and while my son was working in front of our property, the complainant pulled up in his car and made inappropriate advances asking for the boy's phone number. When the boy refused to give his phone number, the complainant said his house was now worth over $1 million, something he references in the emails to Mr. Pasmino, that he worked in government and that he would use his government connections to cause problems. Keep in mind, this was on Palm Beach County zoning stationery from a former employee who worked in zoning here at West Palm Beach. I obtained the complainant's emails via public records requests and provided them to the county.
Mr. Durant,
Wait, just let me finish.
hold
Palm Beach County investigated.
Stop. I'm going to stop you there. It sounds like you might want to make a complaint to the city. You might want to make a complaint to
I did complain to the county. They terminated him for this, for this action.
All of that sounds fine to me.
Sounds fine?
That's all good. But I'm a code enforcement special magistrate. I'm not a judge. I have a very, very limited purview. I have no authority over city officials. I cannot punish them. I cannot reprimand them. I cannot fire them. I have a very simple job.
You have no jurisdiction if a code enforcement officer unfairly targets. Maybe that's my mistake.
Let me finish, because I will answer your question. My authority is to hear cases and determine whether or not the facts as I understand them represent a violation of the code that is written. That is my mandate.
Okay.
What you are asking me to do, I do not have power to do.
Okay, I'm just frustrated with the administration because they take no action. So let me finish and I'll address the things that remain, okay? Let's address those.
Okay.
And I'm allowed to ask the code enforcement officer a question or two about what he's citing me for? Am I allowed to do that?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Pasmino, how many properties have you cited for tree abuse in the past week?
I have in the past week 0.
How many have you cited in the past month?
I wouldn't be able to tell you without.
Okay, public records requests show that I'm the only person that has been cited for tree abuse as far as records go back. Just to verify your memory, and that's one of the exhibits that I turned in. That's public records request.
Mr. Durant, just to help you.
I have.
The things relevant to me are facts that determine whether or not the property as it exists today has a violation of the code on it. What Mr. Pasmino or the city has cited other people for doesn't help me make that determination.
Okay, so let's address the tree abuse issue and how that's interpreted. I have 6 small screws in a palm tree to attach a security camera. If you're interpreting the intent of the law, this is clearly not a violation. If you're using the letter of the law, it's also not a violation, because everybody that had a tree fort or a birdhouse screwed into a tree in their private yard would be in violation. The regulation states, number 6, improper staking techniques resulting in damage to the tree or the use of nails directly into the trunk. The regulation clearly is in reference to staking the base of a tree. Regardless, if you're going to go by the letter of the law instead of the actual intent, I use screws, not nails. Screws are not covered in this law. That's the first issue.
All right, well, let's hold on that one. Let me let the city respond if they want to. He's contending that his screws in the tree don't constitute a 94462C.
Okay, let me ask a few questions of the officer based on what we've just heard. So, Mr. Pasmino, is it true that you went to this property based on a complaint that you received?
That's true.
And do you fairly routinely receive complaints about properties and alleged violations?
Yes.
And when you go out to a property, are you trained to spot all the violations that you notice while you're at the property?
Yes.
And do you routinely work with the property owner to correct the violations, the alleged violations?
Yes, that's our policy.
And do you know this individual, this Palm Beach County zoning employee that made the complaint? Do you know them personally?
No, I do not.
So with regards to tree abuse specifically, have you ever cited a property owner in your time at the city? Have you cited a property owner for these violations?
Not in, like in the last 6 months, like he said. Doesn't come to my mind.
But you have before, maybe in...
I'm sure I have, yes.
Okay. And have you witnessed any of your colleagues, any of the other code officers write someone up or allege a violation of tree abuse?
Yes, I've definitely observed some of my coworkers bring cases to hearings for similar items screwed to trees.
And so is it your opinion, based on your knowledge of the code and in your training and experience, that this camera screwed into the tree constitutes tree abuse under our code?
Yes.
Nothing further at this time, Special Magistrate.
Which section of the code under tree abuse are you proceeding under? Is it 6 or is it 1?
It's 94446 2C6. I printed out a copy.
Proper staking techniques resulting in damage to the tree or the use of nails directly in the trunk.
And then the use of nails directly in the trunk.
And Mr. Durance, your argument is that screws are good but nails are bad?
My argument is that this applies to staking of a tree, as it states in the beginning of the sentence of the law. And I'm not staking a tree. It also obviously is about damage to trees. I maintain a palm tree, and 4 screws in the side of a palm tree do not damage the tree, but it's a life safety issue for me to have a camera, a security camera, where I can visibly see my property. In addition to that, if we're going by the letter of the law, it says nails. It does not say screws. So if you're interpreting damage to the tree, there's clearly no damage to this tree. I maintain it. It's on my private property. If you're interpreting the letter of the law, it says nails, not screws. Either way, it doesn't apply.
What does the city think? Is there a distinction between nails and screws?
I mean, it's a distinction without a difference. I mean,
What about the staking issue? It says for staking.
It
The
says
trunk of the
or.
tree for staking.
In that one, I just don't agree with you, sir. It's staking or. The nails thing, I don't know. I don't think you can bypass this code section by saying that they're screws instead of nails.
But do you think the overriding fact is there's damage to this tree, that this tree is in danger? I mean, they're clearing entire lots for development and destroying trees right and left, and I have 4 screws.
Do I
for a
think this is a
security camera?
serious violation? I do not. Do I think it's a technical violation? I do.
Well, technically, it says nails, not screws.
What else we got? So we got, what about tell me about the fence.
Okay. It's a gate. So this references a 4-foot wide gate mounted between 2 small posts. The gate is grandfathered in as part of the property construction since 1953. 2 brick columns on each side of the property boundaries were also part of the original structure. Such entry gates are common throughout the entire neighborhood, as evidenced in photos, which I have multiple photos all within a block of my house of these structures built when my house was that has unpermitted tiny gates. Such entry gates are common. And then the giant metal gates and wooden gates, which one I guess he brought in today, are all around my property. Gates for trash cans, gates for entries to front houses, all over the place. To force me to spend a lot of money to create plans, submit to permitting, rebuild a small 4-foot wide gate that is grandfathered in, standing for over 70 years with no public complaints and posing no life safety issues is a complete undue burden on me.
(94.302A). Officer Pasmino.
So for the fence and permit section I cited, in the notice, the specific details said, there are no fence gate permits on file. The entrance gate to this property is unpermitted, which remains true. The following corrective action must be taken by January 16th, 2026. Apply for and obtain a permit for the entrance gate at this property. Fences in the front setback shall not exceed 48 inches in height. I didn't cite that code section on the notice because the overall issue is that there is no permit on the fence, which it would have, if with the permit, it would meet the requirements if passed.
What legal basis are you claiming that it was grandfathered in? Do you have some documentation for that? Because otherwise all fences are...
I have pictures from back when the property was...
Not pictures. Do you have any documents that say that you're permitted to do this?
No, it was just the way it's been there for, what is it, I said 60-something years with no complaints? Is this really a life safety hazard for other people? The one time that I took my fence down, my gate down to replace the hedges, I had drug addicts from a house around the corner come in and steal bikes. It's a life safety issue for me and my family to keep people from walking into my yard.
No one's saying you can't have a fence. The code just requires that it be permitted.
Unlike every other fence within a block of my house. With no complaints from the public, no life safety issues to anybody.
Let me circle back to the 18106. So is it the city's position that any vines on the structure are a violation of 18106?
No, from my training and understanding is if it's overgrown, unmaintained vegetation, it does constitute it. I did not see the bamboo supports that he said there are.
I have pictures, I just don't know how to give them to you guys. I've got them right here on my tablet.
All my photos are from what's visible from the street. So.
And it's not visible from the street. I have a picture of the front of my house. You got on a ladder. I don't know how you got the picture.
All right.
It's behind the hedge, about 15 feet.
So that wasn't all the overgrowth, but that's the overgrowth that remains.
So you can see right there was like a little crack, and you can see the bamboo if you zoom in on it, that it's being trained on. I mean, this is ridiculous to be taking people's time over stuff like this. I got a giant building across the street that's gone unfinished with collapsing balconies, giant dumpsters, homeless living in it, and you're dragging me in here for pressure washing my sidewalk. Now I got a diamond bright sidewalk that's the brightest one in the whole city and doesn't match anything else on the block. A whole litany of ridiculous expense and charges for no reason, while these major issues go completely unviolated by you. For 5 years, that building's been across the street from me. There's balconies collapsing, homeless living in the back, directly across the street.
Mr.
You haven't violated
Mr. Durant, I can tell you're very frustrated.
Yes, 20 years.
This is what I'll do in this case. In CE 25114357, I'm not going to make a finding of violation on 18106B. If you've done everything else and you're maintaining that, just having a vine on the house isn't a violation, so that's fine. 94302A3, you're going to need a permit for your fence if you want to keep it. How much time do you need?
Well, with the way permitting is operated in this administration, probably need at least 4 months. I have another friend who's been trying to get his house permitted, and it's taken months after month after month.
On 94302A3, I'll give you 120 days to bring that into compliance. And on 944462C, you've got to take the screws out of the tree. I'll give you 60 days to do that. Subsequent to a fine of up to $100 per day. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Number 11, case number CE 25114-290, address 510 Avenida Hermosa.
Do we have a respondent on this case? We have someone signed in on this?
Torres?
Torres Morama here?
She's here, but she doesn't want to testify.
Okay, go ahead.
Good morning, Officer Forster, West Palm Beach. Code Enforcement for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 11/7/2025 and posted on 11/7/2025. Service was accomplished by certified mail and regular mail sent on 11/12/2025. I have been in contact with the owner, and the property was cited for 947-C outdoor storage. I observed building materials in public view. 18106G noticed that 2 structures needed to be painted. 18106B, excessive growth. I observed that the property had excessive growth in the front yard. All photos accurately and truthfully depict the violation when I observed. As of 1/16, the property has not come in compliance. Therefore, the city is asking for additional 30 days to come into compliance. If they do not come in compliance, then the city is asking for $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony, into evidence.
Is there anyone from the respondent that would like to come and testify? All right, without objection, so admitted. So we got outdoor storage, paint, and excessive growth.
Correct.
And what's the outdoor storage?
The outdoor storage, there's pavers, bricks on the actual front property.
And as of your last inspection, was it still there?
It was cleaned up. It looks better, but there was a lot of loose pavers and bricks that needed to be secured.
So they made efforts but didn't get all the way there?
Correct.
Okay. What's the paint issue?
The front structure, which is the main home, was repainted, and they're working on the second structure in the back. I believe as I went the other day, they were priming it, so they're almost done with that.
So they're working on it?
There.
And the excessive growth?
At the time I took the photos, there was excessive growth, but since it's cold and hardly any rain, it's pretty much taking care of itself.
But that's complied?
Yes.
Okay, so it's just the paint and the outdoor storage?
Correct.
And you believe 30 days is a sufficient amount of time to bring this into compliance?
Yes.
Have you had communication with the respondent?
I have.
Do they think 30 days is enough time?
Yes.
Okay. All right, in case CE 25114290, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 9471C, outdoor storage, and 18106G. The rear building needs paint. Respondent has 30 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of up to $100 per day may issue.
Next case is 32 on the agenda, case number CE 25114375, 938 43rd Street.
Good morning, Kishana Watson Foster, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. While on routine patrol, I observed several violations at the property located at 938 43rd Street. Most of the violations were cured. The only section that's outstanding is 18-106-L, landscape requirement, as there are still bare areas of missing sod. I initiated my investigation on November 18, 2025. At the time, the property was occupied. The city issued a notice of violation which identified the violation, my contact information, and provided notice of today's hearing. The notice was mailed by both certified and regular mail on November 26, 2025 by the city clerk. The certified mail was delivered and signed for on December 5, 2025. In addition, I posted the notice of violation at the property and city hall on November 21, 2025. I completed an affidavit of posting that is located in the case file. On January 20, 2026, I revisited the property and found that it remains out of compliance. Photographs were taken during my initial and follow-up visit. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations as I observed them. The property owner is here today. I have been in contact with him before. At this time, the city is requesting 30 days to comply or a fine of $100 per day.
Thank you so much. And we're pulling up the photos now. And Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file and the photos that we're pulling up into evidence.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Good morning. My name is Leonard Dixon.
Mr. Dixon, you along with Rodney Trust are the owner of the property?
Yes. Yes.
What is the Rodney Trust?
What's that?
Rodney Trust, what is that?
It's a trust.
That much I got. Are they represented here, or are you representing them?
Yes. I am representing the trust. Yes.
Okay. The city says that you've gotten most of this done, just the ground cover.
Yeah. I thought we started the property, but this case officer stated that there's a couple areas that still wasn't sorted.
Do you think 30 days is a sufficient amount of time for you to bring this into compliance?
Yes, yes, I do.
Do you have any objections to the documents the city would like to put in evidence?
No.
Without objection, so admitted. Mr. Dixon, I'm going to give you the 30 days, but those do go quickly, and since there was some confusion between you and the officer about compliance, it's a good idea to keep in touch with the officer to make sure that you're in compliance within that 30 days. Make sure they come out and take a look. That way you don't get fined, because I don't want to fine you just because there's miscommunication, okay?
Okay.
All right. In case CE 25114375, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106L, specifically the ground cover needs to be restored. Respondent has 30 days to come into compliance or a fine of up to $100 per day may issue. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Next case, item 34, case number CE 2511443, 1543 44th Street.
You should have just stayed.
I know. Kishonna Watson-Foster, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. While on routine patrol, I observed several violations at the property located at 1543 44th Street. The violation includes section 94.71.c, outdoor storage. They have a metals and mailbox leaning on the structure. 18106.g, paint, discoloration of the structure, including the front door. 94-485-e, surface of parking. Driveway has broken areas. 18-106-g, clean and sanitary, awning and sidewalk needs pressure cleaning. 94-482-a, parking requirement. There is a car parked on unpaved area. 18-106-l, landscape requirement. There are areas with bare missing grass. I initiated my investigation on November 25th, 2025. At the time the property was occupied. The city issued a notice of violation which included a violation, my contact information, and provided notice of today's hearing. The notice was mailed by both certified and regular mail December 3rd, 2025. By the city clerk, the certified mail was delivered and signed for on December 10th, 2025. In addition, I posted the violation at the property in City Hall on November 26, 2025. I completed an affidavit of posting on that date, which is included in the case file. On January 20, 2026, I revisited the property and found that it remained out of compliance. Photographs were taken during my initial and follow-up visit. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations as I've observed them. I have not been in contact with the property owner. At this time, the city is requesting 30 days to comply or a fine of $100 per day.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony, into evidence.
Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
Aaron Redmond.
I'm sorry, did you say Redmond?
Yes, Redmond, R-E-D-M-O-N. And they've got the spelling of this is incorrect. It's R-E-D-M-O-N, not M-A-N.
Thank you for the correction. And are you one of the owners of the property?
Yes.
And who is Vincent?
And the tenant. I actually live there.
Who is Vincent Redmond?
My son.
And you are the tenant for your son, is that it?
Yes, we're in the midst of changing. It was in my name, the house was in my name, put it in his name, we're going to change it back.
Okay. Ma'am, do you have any objections to the photographs or documents that the city would like to put in evidence that they're showing you right now?
No, they seem to be pretty accurate.
Without objection, so admitted. So the city says that you've got outdoor storage, you've got a paint issue, you've got parking on the grass, clean and sanitary, parking requirements, and landscaping.
Correct.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yes, it is. It's a long list of stuff, and it tends to be expensive. I was planning on doing some repairs to my home, but then my mother got sick and eventually died.
Sorry to hear that, ma'am.
On the 20th of November. So I've been dealing with, and I didn't have the memorial services until December 12th. So needless to say, the upkeep and repairs to my home have taken a back seat. Even now, I'm still dealing with the affairs of her.
How much time do you need, ma'am?
If I could have 120 days.
What's the city's position?
I mean, that's a long time, but I don't object to it.
I'm sorry, did you say you don't have an objection?
No objection.
All right, we'll give you the 120. I'll be honest, that's a bit longer than I would give in a case like this because most of these things can be done quickly. I'll give you the 120 days, but I'd ask, if possible, try and address as many of these well before that deadline if you can.
Definitely.
All right. All right, CE 25114443, I make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of the listed code sections, I adopt by reference the testimony of the code officers the nature of those violations. I give the respondent 120 days to bring the property in compliance or a fine of up to $100 per day may issue. Good luck, ma'am.
May I have a point of clarification,
Yes.
please? Outside storage is referring to the mailbox?
The mailbox and the metals that are sitting on, leaning on the structure.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes those who are present and being represented. We'll go to case number 1, CE 25114285, 2601 North Flagler Drive.
Did they have a case? Can we have an officer check and make sure that they didn't get skipped or, because they've been sitting here a while? Oh, okay. Go ahead, sir.
Good morning, sir. My name is Tony Apicella, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. This is in reference to case number CE 25114285. On 11/4/2025, while patrolling my assigned area, discovered the property located at 2601 North Flagler Drive. Initiated investigation and inspection of the property. During the inspection, I observed that the following violations existed, and that is going to be 18106A, clean and sanitary. These violations were documented through photographs and field notes, which have been entered into the case file. Photographs do accurately depict my observances. A notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on November 25th, 2025. It was also sent via U.S. mail and registered mail on 12/3/2025 and returned on 12/10/2025. Follow-up inspection was conducted on 1/13/2026, at which time I determined that the violations had not been corrected, and as of yesterday, 1/20/2026, the property remains in violation. It's basically a large trash pile that seems to continue to grow daily.
Any contact with the owners?
I've made numerous attempts. I've looked on the internet, see if I could find a phone number, an email, sent them all. We sent certified mail, we sent regular mail, posted the property, posted City Hall.
Did anyone sign for the certified mail?
I'm sorry?
Was the certified mail signed for?
No, it was returned, sir.
Do what you can do.
Thank you for your testimony. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony, into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. What remedy is the city seeking here?
Well, the city's going to request 30 days or $75 a day, sir. I just want to note that the rest of the property, which is a large parcel, is taken care of. It's cut and maintained, but it looks like the people that are maintaining it for them, they pick everything up and bring it to this one pile, and it just continues to grow.
Well, maybe you'll get lucky and be able to catch them while they're cleaning the property one time.
I've drive by several times and see if I could catch them while they're cutting the grass.
All right, KCE 25114-285, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106A, specifically the large pile of trash that continues to exist on the property. The respondent has 30 days to bring the property in compliance or fine of up to $75 per day. May I issue?
Item number 2, case number CE 25094-144, 523 48th Street.
Good morning. Tony Epicella, Code Enforcement Officer with City of West Palm Beach. On 9/29/25, while patrolling my assigned area, discovered a property located at 523 48th Street. Initiated investigation and inspection of the property. During the inspection, I observed several violations, 4 to be exact. 3 of them have been resolved voluntarily by the homeowner. The only one remaining is 94-482-A parking requirements. There are 2 gravel driveways on the property. It's a multi-unit property. I have been in contact several times with the owner. These violations were documented through photographs and field notes, which have been entered in the case file. The photographs actually depict my observances. A notice of violation was posted at the property on 11/25/25, sent U.S. mail, registered mail on 12/3/25, and received and signed for on 12/10/25. A follow-up inspection was conducted on 1/13/2026, at which time I determined that the violations had not been corrected. As of yesterday, 1/20/2026, the property remains in violation. Your Honor, I have spoken, as I said before, with the owner, Mr. Fior, numerous times. He does have a permit applied for, and he has purchased the pavers. So I spoke with permitting yesterday, and at their recommendation, they're saying because of their backlog that the city's going to request 120 days for this to be complied, or $100 a day.
120 seems to be my number today, huh?
Sure does.
So just so I understand, the issue here is that the surface is improper, right? This gravel is not permitted. Is that essentially the issue?
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you, sir, for your testimony. Special Magistrate of the City would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
That objection so admitted in case CE 25094-144. I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 9442A, non-dusting surface required. Respondent has 120 days to come into compliance or a fine of up to, what were you seeking?
I'm sorry?
What fine were you seeking?
Yes.
Yeah. Of up to $100 per day, may I issue?
Item number 3 on the agenda, case number CE 25104-278, 811 4th Street.
Good morning. Mark Slater, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on October 30th, 2025, and posted on October 31st, 2025. Service was accomplished by certified and regular mail sent on November 5th, 2025, and signed for on November 21st, 2025. I have not been in contact with the owner of the property. The property was cited for 18212C sign requirement. I observed no sign information posted on the vacant property. 74-4C4, tree and hedges obstructing the right-of-way. I observed a tree obstructing the right-of-way in the alleyway. 18214B, secure vacant building. I observed a window in the rear of the property not properly secured. 94302A4, fence maintenance. I observed the wooden fence in the alleyway in disrepair. 18209, registration of vacant property. I observed the property is not registered with our HERA registry as vacant. 18106A, clean and sanitary. I observed trash and debris in the front and rear of the property. 18265, boarding certificate. I observed that the property doesn't have a boarding certificate to board the structure. 18106B, excessive overgrowth. I observe the entire premises is overgrown and exceeds the city's limits of 6 inches. 18265B, boarding building. I observed the entire structure is boarded. These photos accurately depict my observation. As of January 20th, 2026, my final inspection, the property has not come into compliance. Therefore, the city is asking for an additional 45 days for them to come into compliance with 18212C, 94302A4, 18209A, 18265, and 18265B. If they do not come into compliance, then the city is asking for $150 per day until compliance is complete. The city believes that this is enough time to resolve these violations. Violations 744C4, 18214B, 18106A, and 18106B are a health, life, safety, and hazard to the community. This causes snakes, possums, raccoons, and other vermins. And on one occasion, I noticed a homeless person go into the property and go into the building who was later then trespassed. Therefore, the city is is requesting the property be abated in 21 days.
Thank you for your testimony. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
Is anyone here on behalf of the respondent? Seeing no one without objection, so admitted. So the city is concerned that this is a health safety violation? Can you speak
Yes,
more?
because it also causes more people to, it attracts more people to throw trash on the property and come onto the property as well.
So you think it's a habitat for vermin and also potential, I guess possibly vagrants?
Yes.
All right, in case CE 25104-278, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of the listed code sections, and I order them to comply as follows. As to sections 18214B and 18265 and 18106B, 18106A, and 7404C4, I find that those violations exist and constitute a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the city of West Palm Beach. I adopt by reference the testimony of the code officer as to the nature of those violations and conditions. I order the respondent to come into compliance within 21 days, or I authorize the city to enter the property and abate any of all of these violations. I hereby assess the cost of said abatement against the property and property owner. I further order the respondent to come in, I further find the respondent in violation of 18265, 94302A4, 18209A, 18212C, and 18265B. I adopt by reference the testimony of the code officer as the nature of those violations. Respondent has 45 days to bring those into compliance, or a fine of up to $150 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Number 5, case number CE 251-24506, 406 Huron Place.
Joseph LaPerna, Code Enforcement Officer, West Palm Beach. On December 16th, at approximately 11:43 a.m., while on routine patrol, my attention was called to the residential property located at 406 Huron Place in West Palm Beach. There were several violations noted, and contact was made with the owner of the property regarding the violations. The notice of violation was posted on the property December 16, 2025. Certified and regular mail were sent on January 13, 2026. Certified mail was returned on January 20th, 2026. The affidavit of posting was completed and filed on December 16, 2025, and is in the case file. On January 20th, 2026, I revisited the property for a final inspection before today's hearing and found the property not in compliance, photographing the items still in violation. Section 94-71-C, outdoor storage, specifically a lawnmower, the owner was asked to remove from the side of the residence that is in public view. Section 18-106-A, trash and debris left in public view. Section 94-71-B, 4-446-2-E, edging sidewalks from landscape growth. And finally, section 18-106G, painting all areas of the residential exterior where paint is missing or faded. I took photographs at the initial investigation on December 16, 2025, and again on January 2026. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations and corrections I observed during the course of my investigation. I spoke with the owner, David Jones, who is not here, once during the course of the investigation and have not heard back from him. When I did speak to him, it was my understanding there were medical and financial issues hindering his efforts to achieve full compliance. So with that, the city is requesting an additional 90 days for Mr. Jones to achieve full compliance or be subject to a fine of $100 per day after those 90 days have lapsed until full compliance has been achieved.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate of the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. Officer, the 18106B, the excessive weeds, and the 7434A1H trash can in public view, are those in compliance?
Those are in compliance, yes, sir.
So it's just the edging, the paint, the trash, and the outdoor storage?
Yes, sir.
And you believe that 90 days is a sufficient amount of time for them to bring this into compliance?
Yes.
All right, in case CE 25124506, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. Find the property in violation of 944462E, the edging, the overgrowth onto the sidewalk. 18106G, the paint, the surfaces have to be properly maintained. 18106A, the trash and debris on the property, and 9471C, the lawnmower in public view that needs to be not outdoor storage. Respondent has 90 days to come to compliance or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Number 6, case number CE 25124514, address 118 Porter Place.
Joseph Laperna, Code Enforcement Officer, City of West Palm Beach. On December 17, 2025, at approximately 11:15 a.m. while on routine patrol, my attention was called to the residential property located at 118 Porter Place in West Palm Beach. There were several violations noted, and contact was made with the owner of the property regarding the violations. Notice of violation was posted on the property December 17, 2025. Certified and regular mail were sent on December 22nd, 2025, and certified mail was received on January 3rd, 2026. The affidavit of posting was completed and filed December 17, 2025, and is in the case file. On January 20th, 2026, I revisited the property for a final inspection before today's hearing, found the property not in compliance, photographing the items still in violation. Section 18-106-K, the bare landscape area of the yard must be grass, sod, or landscape material. And 18-106A, pressure washer, otherwise may clean the sanitary driveway surface. I took photographs at the initial investigation on December 17, 2025, and again yesterday, January 20, 2026. The photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations and corrections I observed during the course of my investigation. I have been in constant contact with Andrew, who's the son of the owner, who is not here, during the course of the investigation, and he's been cooperative in exerting. He's done a lot to get the property to come into compliance. He has yet to achieve compliance in 2 of the 7 violations that were initially noted. Due to the nature of the driveway surface being paver bricks, he asked me to ask for 60 days to achieve compliance, which he stated will be more than enough time to take care of the driveway. He also advised the bare area of the yard will be in compliance during that time as well. So the city is requesting an additional 60 days to achieve that compliance or be subject to a fine of $100 per day after those 60 days until full compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. So we just have that landscaping issue and the driveway, right?
Correct. The landscaping issue is because of where they had one of the derelict vehicles that has been resolved since. It's along the fence line. So he removed the vehicle, and he's deciding whether he wants to extend the paver bricks or if he wants to put grass and stuff in there. And I told him if it's going to be paver bricks, he's going to need a permit, so I think he's going to go with the landscaping instead. Right there.
All right, that'll work. In CE 25124514, make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. Find the property in violation of 18106K. The landscaping needs to be repaired, and 18106A, the driveway needs to be properly maintained. Respond to 60 days to come into compliance, or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Number 7, case number CE 25124538, address 806 30th Street.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Neil Maharaj, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. Case number is CE 25124538, and this was addressed to property 806 30th Street, issued on December 24th, 2025, to the owner of Upchurch Capital LLC in care of Masbach Christian. While driving within my assigned area, I observed the subject property with multiple property maintenance concerns. As a result, the following violation remains not in compliance. 94-302-A-4, which is for fence requirements. The certified mail was sent out on December 29th, 2025, and returned on January 13th. The notice was also posted on December 29th, 2025. The affidavit of posting was submitted and entered into the files. A progress check has been conducted on January 16th to inspect the metal fence surrounding the property. During my inspection, I observed that the fence remains rusted throughout and in need of repair and paint. I have been in contact with the owner, Christy, via email and phone calls regarding the repairs, and discuss what needs to be done to come into full compliance. Christy advised that some more time may be required to paint the fence due to the weather conditions, rain, and her contractor being busy with other jobs. Given the fact that the owner has shown initiative to come into compliance with the other violations, I don't see an issue with allowing more time to comply with the remaining and final violation. We've agreed on 60 days to comply, and I have no objection.
What fine are you seeking if they don't comply?
$100 for any fine.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate of the City would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. In case CE 25124538, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation 94302A4. The fence is rusted and damaged, needs to be properly maintained and repaired. Respondent has 60 days to come to compliance, or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Number 8, case number CE 25124545, address 3318 Greenwood Avenue.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Neil Maharaj, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. Case number CE 25124545. Property is 3318 Greenwood Ave, and the violation was issued on December 29th, 2025, to the owner, Progressive Financial Group, in care of Lee Monica. While driving within my assigned area, I observed the subject property with multiple property maintenance concerns. As a result, the following violation remains not in compliance. There is 18-106-A, clean and sanitary, trash and debris spread throughout the property. 18-214-A, paint boards, all materials. I see that they have boarded all the windows, but they do not match the paint of the structure. And finally, the boarding certificate is required, 18-265. There is no certificate on file that is currently active for the boarding. Certified mail was sent out on January 13th and was sent out on January 6th and returned on January 13th. The NOV was posted on December 30th, and the affidavit of posting was submitted and entered into the case files. I have conducted a progress inspection as of January 16th, 2026, and observed that the trash and debris remain throughout the property. The boards have not been painted around the windows, and no active boarding certificate has been obtained or applied for. Full compliance has not been achieved, and contact with the property owner has been unsuccessful via phone calls. The city is requesting 30 days to comply or a $100 fine per day.
Thank you for your testimony. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. In case CE 251245545, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106A, trash and debris on the property. 18214A, the boards need to be painted in a workmanlike fashion in the same color as the walls, and 18265, a boarding certificate is required. Respondent has 30 days to come into compliance, or $100 per day fine shall issue.
Number 9, case number CE 251245551, address 3416 Greenwood Avenue.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Neil Maharaj, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. Case number CE 25124551. Property is 3416 Greenwood Ave. The violation was issued on December 29th, 2025 to the owner of Bridge Crossing LLC in care of Elijah Makaram. While driving within my assigned area, I observed the subject property with multiple property maintenance concerns. As a result, the following violations remain not in compliance. 18-106-G, paint. The exterior of the home is chipped and some areas are not matching, so it is required fresh paint. 94-446-2-E, edging of the swale, the parkway, and the property perimeter is required. 18-106-A, clean and sanitary. There is miscellaneous trash and debris spread throughout the lawn in the front of the property. And 94-71-C, outdoor storage. By the front entrance door there, you can see there's a cooler and other miscellaneous items that are not outdoor permitted. And finally, 78-6, numbering standards. The number of the home is not clearly visible from the public view, public right away. Certified mail was sent out on January 6th, 2026, and it was returned on January 14th. The NOV was posted on December 30th, 2025. Affidavit of posting was submitted and entered to the case files. I conducted a progress inspection as of January 16th, 2026, and observed that the trash and debris remained throughout the property. Paint is still needed on the front exterior wall of the home. Edging is still required along the parkway and property perimeter, and the outdoor storage remains near the front door, as well as the house number has not been fixed and not clearly visible from the public right-of-way. Compliance has not been achieved. Contact with the property management team was made as of yesterday via email, January 20th, and they are requesting more time to comply since they were only recently informed of the violations. They're saying that they only recently received the mail. A request for 30 more days to comply was made. There is no objection. The city is requesting 30 days to comply or a $100 fine per day.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
Okay, in case CE 251245551, for the record, I admit in evidence the case file in this case is city's composite exhibit. I find notice is good and sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106G. The paint is chipped and missing in places and needs to be repaired. 94462E, edging. The property needs to be edged along the perimeters. 18106A, there is trash and debris on the property. 9471C, items stored near the door. And 786, the numbers have to be fixed, repaired as they are faded and not visible from the street. Respondent has 30 days to come into compliance or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Number 10, case number CE 25114441, address 715 High Street.
Good morning. Raphael Forster, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 11/26/2025 and posted on 11/26/2025. Service was accomplished by certified mail and regular mail sent on 12/3/2025. I have not been in contact with the owner of the property. The property was cited for 18-265, board and secure. I observed the structure has windows boarded up without a certificate. 9471C, outdoor storage. At the property, I observed building material on the property in public view. 94442C1, landscaping and grass. I observed that the landscaping has areas that need ground coverage. 18106-K, landscaping. I observed that the landscaping at the property is not being maintained. All photos accurately and truthfully depict the violations when observed. As of 1/16/2023, the property has not come into compliance. Therefore, the city is asking for an additional 90 days to allow permitting and inspections. If they do not come into compliance, then the city is asking for $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate of the City would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. Have you had any contact with the owner here?
None.
So we got boarding, outdoor storage. I guess is it the grass cover isn't right? Landscaped?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. And you wanted to give them 90 days?
Correct.
All right, case CE 25114441, I make the following finding of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 18265. A boarding certificate is required. 9471C, the outdoor storage needs to be removed. 94442C1, the landscaped areas have to be grass. And 18106G, the landscape has to be properly maintained. Respondent has 90 days to bring the property in compliance or fine up to $100 per day may issue.
Number 12, case number CE 25114432, address 510 Independence Road.
Good morning. Raphael Forster, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 11/25/2025 and posted on 11/26/2025. Service was accomplished by certified mail and regular mail sent on 12/4/2025. I have not been in contact with the owner of the property. This property was cited for 18-265, board and secure. I observed structure on the structure, windows boarded without certificate. 18106K, landscaping. I observed that the landscaping is not being maintained. 94442C, landscaping, grass. I observed that the landscaping has areas that need ground coverage. 94302A4, fence. I observed that the fence is leaning and in need of repair. 18106G, paint. I observed that the structure needs painting. All photos accurately and truthfully depict the violation when observed. As of 1/16/2026, the property has not come into compliance. Therefore, the city is asking for an additional 30 days to come into compliance. If they do not come into compliance, then the city is asking for $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate of the City would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. Did you say you've had no contact with the owner?
None.
Has there been any effort to bring this property into compliance that you could see?
It did have a couple other violations which they complied, but they were very simple ones, like clothing out in public view, but outside of that.
Do you believe the 30 days is enough time to bring this into compliance?
Yes.
The fence thing probably is going to take a little more time, though, no?
For the repair, you don't need a permit, but if they're going to redo the whole fence, then they would need a permit.
Tell you what, I'm going to give them 60 on the fence and 30 for the rest. All All right, in case CE 251144432, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of the listed code sections. 18265, a boarding certificate is required. 18106K, the landscaping has to be properly maintained. 94442C1, the landscaped areas there's missing grass in the landscaping. 94302A4, the fence is in disrepair, must be repaired or replaced. And 18106G, the surface is not being maintained and needs to be painted or cleaned, or both. Respondent has 30 days to bring all of them into compliance except for 94302A4. As for 94302A4, the respondent has 60 days to come to compliance. Failure to meet either deadline is a fine of up to $100 per day.
Number 13, case number CE 25124530, address 1500 North Congress Avenue, A312.
Good morning, Code Officer Kiwi with the City of West Palm Beach. I received a complaint from a tenant at 1500 North Congress Avenue, Unit A312. I initiated an investigation and found the following violations. Property was cited on December the 19th of 2025 for 22-32A COU and 22-441 rental license. The notice of violation was posted at the property on December the 19th of 2025. It was also emailed to the property manager, which has reached out and they're asking for additional time to get the proper licenses and everything. The city is requesting an additional 30 days to gain compliance, or $150 a day until compliance is achieved.
Good morning, Officer Weaver. Thank you for your testimony. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. How do we know this is a rental?
Yes, it's a rental.
How do you know?
The tenant. When the tenant made a complaint, referenced something else, and so when I did my research, they have no license. This particular unit has not had a license since 2016, and the tenant has been in there for a period of time.
All right. Case CE 25124530, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 2232A and 22441, specifically certificate of use and business license for a rental dwelling. Respondent has 30 days to come to compliance, or fine of up to $150 per day may issue.
Number 14, case number CE 2511437, address 1311 11th Court.
Morning again, Code Officer KT Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While patrolling in my zone, I observed several violations at 1311 11th Court. I took photos of the violations which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on November the 19th of 2025, citing multiple violations, which are 74-34-A-1-H, trash can in public view, 18-106A, clean and sanitary, 94-446-2-E, edging, 78-94-C, swells and parkways, 74-4-C-3, overgrowth, 94-71-C, outdoor storage, 22-32-A, certificate of use, 22-441, rental license. The property was posted on November the 21st of 2025. The affidavit of posting was also completed on November the 21st of 2025, a copy placed in the case file. I revisited the property on January the 20th of 2026 and observed the property still in violation of all the violations listed. Reinspection photos were taken showing the remaining violations. They were uploaded to the case file. I have not had contact with the property owner. The city is requesting an additional 30 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, ma'am. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. All right, let's walk me through here. You got a lot here. All right, trash can in public view. That was the blue trash can in that picture, right?
There's actually, I took pictures as of yesterday. And originally, keep scrolling through those. Originally, some of the outdoor storage were in the front, right in that area that was just shown. It was, a tree appeared to be cut down, a palm tree or whatever, and they had all that. This is yesterday's pictures. Now
okay,
they have additional outdoor storage, which the garbage can is still there, but they've added now the
Garbage can, I got. What's the clean and sanitary?
The clean and sanitary is pressure washing, and then, you know, there's little bits and pieces of trash that flies in the yard, but also the main part is the clean and sanitary is the pressure washing.
Pressure wash. The driveway, right, or the?
And yes, and the sidewalks bordering the property, yes,
okay.
sir.
The edging, I can see that's the overgrowth for underneath the fence. It's on
Yes.
high. Okay, that I can see. Swells and Parkway. Is that just overgrowth?
Yes.
You didn't mention 18106K, but I have it here. Are you proceeding under that one? The landscape maintenance?
Oh, did I miss that one? Yeah. Okay, let me look on. So yes, that's the pictures are gone, but that's on the property, there's overgrowth as well as in the Swellen Parkway.
Overgrowth are the weeds that I saw in the other photo, right?
Yes.
Outdoor storage, that stuff right behind the fence, right?
Yes.
All right, so certificate of use, so this is a rental property?
Yes, after I did my investigation, I discovered that this is a rental, and there are tenants currently at the property.
And you spoke with the tenants?
Not necessarily. I've met with them. We've seen each other, but no contact was made with them.
And how do we know they're tenants?
How do I know they're tenants? Because the property that's owned is owned by LLC, and there's nothing on file. So
okay.
It's owned by Alpha Roofing. So that's
and there are people living there?
Yes.
Okay. All right, and you think 30 days is a sufficient amount of time to bring them into compliance?
Yes.
All right, in case CE 25114387, I make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient, I find the property in violation of the listed code sections. I adopt by reference the testimony of the code officer as to the nature of these violations. Give the respondent 30 days to come into compliance or fine up to $100 per day may issue.
Number 15, case number CE 25104-208, address 1320 8th Street.
Code Officer K.T. Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While patrolling in my zone, I observed several violations at 1320 8th Street. I took photos of the violations which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on October the 20th, and also on December the 8th, I had to repost. So multiple citing for multiple violations. Some have been complied. The remaining violations are 94-446-2-B-3 hat racking, 94-443-B maintenance of non-conforming.
453, right?
I'm sorry?
94453B.
B, yes. 94-446-2-C-3 tree abuse, 78-94-C swells and parkways, and 94-445-4-I prohibited trees. The notice of violation was posted at the property on October the 20th and on December the 8th of 2025. The affidavit of posting was completed also on October the 20th and December the 8th of 2025, and a copy placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on December the 20th of 2025, and it was signed for. I visited the property on January the 20th of 2026 and observed the property still in violation of the violations listed. Reinspection photos were taken showing the remaining violations. They were uploaded to the case file. I have not had any contact with the property owner, only the tenant. The city is requesting a one-time fine of $250 for the hat racking, and the city is also requesting an additional 90 days to remove the prohibited tree and to provide an arborist report or remove and replace the hat rack tree with the required permit, or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. So tell me about the tree here.
Okay, there's the one at the front that's severely hack-racked. And then there's also, that's the hat rack. Well, it's growing, some things are growing back, but it's never gonna be how it was. I have a picture when it was done. That's a prohibited tree there, the Chevalier. That one has to be removed because it is prohibited. On my initial photos, you'll see the hat rack tree, like right as they did it, right after they did it. And it shows how they severely cut the tree. Yes, that's some of the photos. They severely, yes, unfortunately cut it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, yes.
You had no contact with them?
Only the tenant, which she came out and she said that it was several people that lived there. So she said that her niece cut it herself.
Well, that would make sense. All right, so you're seeking $250 for the hat racking.
Yes.
What's the maintenance of non-conforming areas?
All of that is with the prohibited tree. We have to cite for 3 codes. So that's all involving the Chevalier tree that needs to be removed, the prohibited tree.
So basically, this is all about the prohibited tree?
Prohibited, and then the hat racking, what additional needs to be done is a permit pulled and remove the tree totally, or an arborist report saying the tree will come back to its original state, one or the other for that. So basically, it's just those 2 items, yes.
All right, I guess in case CE 25104-208, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. Find the property in violation of 944462B3, hat racking. I issue a one-time fine for irreparable for $250, and I order the respondent to, within 90 days, produce an arborist report or obtain a tree permit to remove the tree. I find the property in violation of 94453B, 944462C3, 7894C, and 944454I. Respondent has 90 days to remove the prohibited tree, or a fine of up to $100 per day may issue.
Number 16, case number CE 250941111, address 1209 North Australian Avenue.
Good morning again, Code Officer Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While patrolling in my zone, I observed several violations at 1209 North Australian Avenue. I took photos of the violations, which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on September the 15th of 2025, citing multiple violations, some of which have been complied. The remaining violations are 78-6-5, address, numbering, and being visible from the street. 18-106-A, clean and sanitary, miscellaneous trash throughout the property. 94-302-A-3, fence permit, and FBC 110.1, work subject to inspection. The notice of violation was posted at the property on September the 18th and also on November the 21st of 2025. The affidavit of posting was completed on September the 18th and November the 21st of 2025, and a copy was placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on November the 13th and January the 12th. Certified mail was returned. I revisited the property on January the 20th of 2026 and observed the property still in violation of the violations previously listed. Reinspection photos were taken showing the remaining violations. They were uploaded to the case file. I did speak with the property owner, one of the owners, and she is requesting she originally requested 30 days. She has applied for the permit because they just recently acquired the property. So they're in the process with the fence permit and everything. But I'm requesting, the city is requesting an additional 60 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, Special Magistrate. The city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. So the only things outstanding here are the fence permits, the work subject to inspection. Is the clean and sanitary still an issue?
It's just trash. Where the property sits, it's on a main thoroughfare on a corner, so you're constantly, it's pretty much every other day you got to go out and pick up trash. And then the numbering, originally one character was missing, so they have replaced it, but they're going to have to do a contrast because you can't see it from the street. It just looks like you just got a little oval up there. So it's minor things because they could just touch it up with some white or some black paint or something, the numbers, and then that wouldn't be a problem. But I have spoken with her, and they are working on the fence. That's the biggest thing, and so that's why I asked for the 60 days to make sure it goes through the process.
So the numbering, the clean and sanitary, the fence permits, and the work with inspection.
Yes.
All right. Case CE 2509411, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. Find the property in violation of 786-5. The numbering on the home has to be visible from the street. 18106A, the trash and debris has to be removed from the property and kept clean. 94302A3 and FBC 110.1, the fence requires a permit. Responded to 60 days to come into compliance or a fine of up to $100 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Number 17, case number CE 25114-354, address 722 22nd Street.
Hey, good morning. Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. While on routine patrol, I observed a vacant property illegally boarded without a certificate at 722 22nd Street. This property is vacant. I completed an initial inspection on November 10th of 2025 and cited the property for multiple violations. The original notice of violation was updated on January 9th, 2026 to include an additional violation received by an external complainant, someone in the neighborhood complained. I completed an initial inspection on October 10th of 2025 and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code sections: 18209A, 18212C, 18265B, and 78-6. On January 9th of 2026, the notice of violation was updated to include 18106E, which is the extermination for pests. The city issued an initial and updated notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. I posted the initial notice of violation at the property and City Hall on November 14th of 2025, and the updated notice of violation on January 9th of 2026. I completed an affidavit of posting on November 14th of 2025, and again on January 9th of 2026. Both are in the case file. The notice of violation was noted by certified and regular mail on November 18th of 2025, and again on January 12th of 2025 by the city's clerk. Certified mail was returned. Reinspection of the property was completed on January 8th of 2026, as well as January 20th of 2026. During both the reinspection, the property was observed not to be in compliance with all of the code violations, so they are all still outstanding. 18209A, 18212C, 18265B, 18106E, and 786. I took the photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property. The photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed during my investigation. The property owner is not present, and I have not been in contact with the property owner or a representative. The city is requesting a split order. For violation 18106E, which is the bee or wasp nest that's causing a nuisance to the community and surrounding neighbors, the city is requesting 10 days to comply. If no compliance, the city is requesting for abatement. For all other violations, the city is requesting 30 days to comply. If no compliance, a $150 daily fine until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony and evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. So as of today, all the violations are still in existence, the sign requirement, the numbering, the vacant registration, and the boarding building,
Yes, correct.
and of course, the exterminate issue.
Yes.
And that's the wasp nest.
Wasps, bees, it's pretty bad. The other day it wasn't as active, but the prior days it actually prevented me from posting on the front door. I had to actually post by the fence. The neighbor that's complaining, I was hoping that they were here. You have kids in the neighborhood that are getting stung. I had to put on a full raincoat, if you will, to post. It's pretty bad.
And you believe that constitutes a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the neighborhood?
Yes.
All right, in case CE 25114354, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106E, specifically wasp and bees habitating on the property. Respondent has 10 days to bring that into compliance. In the failure of compliance, the city is authorized to enter the property and abate this violation. I hereby assess the cost of said abatement against the property and property owner. I further find that the respondent is in violation of 78-6. The numbers have to be clear and visible from the street. 18212C. Property that is vacant has to have a posted sign. 18209A. The property that is vacant has to be registered. And 18265B. Boarding requirements. Respondent has 30 days to bring the property into compliance, or a fine of $150 per day may issue.
Number 18, case number CE 25124470, address 1513 North Tamarind Avenue.
All right, Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. Property 1513 North Tamarind Avenue was reported to the Code Enforcement Division by West Palm Beach Fire Department for operating without a license. This property is occupied. I completed an initial inspection on December 4th of 2025 and cited the property for multiple violations. I completed a re-inspection on January 15th of 2026 and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code violations: 82144, obtaining a business license, and 22-32-8, obtaining a certificate of use. The city issued an initial and updated, the city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. I posted that notice of violation at the property in City Hall on December 9th of 2025. I also completed an affidavit of posting on December 9th of 2025. The notice of violation was noticed by certified and regular mail on December 15th of 2025 by the city's clerk. Certified mail was signed for on December 20th of 2025. I took the photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property, and all the photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed. The property owner is not present, but I have been in contact with the property manager and members of the business. In this case, it is a nonprofit church. All violations, how to comply to violations, and this special magistrate hearing was discussed with everyone. The property manager requested additional time to comply. The senior leadership members for the church are elderly, and there's a little disconnect with the technology required to complete the process online. And the property manager is requesting an additional 45 days to comply. With that being said, the city is requesting an additional 45 days to comply. If no compliance, $100 per day fine until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony and evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. In case CE 25124470, I make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient, there was a whole bunch of other things on the property and they came into compliance. Is that essentially it? Except for the business license?
Yeah, yes, the business license and certificate of use. So.
I'm going to give them 60 just because I know sometimes this can take time.
And as far as the fine, can we reduce that to 75 per day?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, in case CE 25124470, make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 2232A and 82144. They need a business tax and certificate of use. Responded has 60 days to come into compliance or a fine of up to $75 per day may issue.
Number 19, case number CE 25114-361, address 717 20th Street.
Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. While on routine patrol, I observed vacant property at 17 20th Street boarded without a boarding certificate. I completed an initial inspection on December 10th of 2025 and cited the property for multiple violations. I completed a re-inspection on January 9th of 2026 as well as January 20th of 2026 and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code sections: 18209A, 18214A, 18265B. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, as well as information about this hearing date. I posted the notice of violation at the property in City Hall on November 18th of 2025. I also completed the affidavit of posting on November 18th of 2025. And the notice of violation was noticed by certified and regular mail on November 20th of 2025 by the city's clerk. Certified mail was returned. Reinspection of the property was completed on January 8th, 2026. Oh, excuse me, sorry about that. I already did that. I took the photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed during my investigation. The property owner is not present, but I have been in contact with a family member who is also the property manager, Mr. Mike Williams. And per the property manager, he will remove the boards. There is an active utility bills for the home, and the home will be used soon. As far as the utility information, I have not verified that as of yet, but he's and telling me that basically he's going to remove the boards and the home will be used soon. So with that being said, the city is requesting 30 days to comply or $100 per day fine.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
We having issues with the photos again? Why don't we do this? Let's take a little bathroom break, and maybe we can get the photos working by then. So let's take 5. have to call the TV back in.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was 18?
West Palm TV.
West Palm TV. Number 20, case number CE 25124491, address 726 19th Street.
I don't think, did we resolve the? We were still on 19, right?
Okay. Scratch that. Number 19, case number CE 25114-361, address 717 20th Street.
I believe I was accepting the evidence, the case file in this case.
That is correct.
All right. And I believe the ask was 30 days or $100 per day.
That is correct.
So they can come to compliance either by occupying the property and removing the boards or getting the boarding certificate and painting and the vacant, right?
Correct, and registering the vacant property.
All right, CE 25114-361, I make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice sufficient, I find the property in violation of 1865B, the boarding of the building, 18214A, the boards have to be painted in a workmanlike fashion, the same color as the exterior, and 18209A, they have to register a vacant property. They either have to occupy the property or come into compliance on those code sections within 30 days or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Number 20, case number CE 25124491, address 726 19th Street.
Good morning again. Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. Property 726 19th Street was reported to Code Enforcement Division by the Sanitation Department. This property is vacant. I completed an initial inspection on December 9th of 2025 and cited the property for multiple violations. The original notice of violation was updated on December 30th of 2025 to include additional violations. I completed a re-inspection on January 15th of 2026 as well as January 20th of 2026 and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code sections: 18106A, trash and debris; 18106B, overgrowth; 944462E, edging the grass and the sidewalk area; and 9471C, outdoor storage. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, as well as notice of this hearing date. I posted the notice of violation I posted the initial notice of violation at the property and City Hall on December 11th of 2025, and the updated notice of violation on December 31st of 2025. I completed the affidavit of posting on December the 11th of 2025, as well as December 31st of 2025. Both are in the case file. The notice of violation was noticed by certified and regular mail on December 16th of 2025 and January 6th of 2026 by the city's clerk. I took the photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed during my investigation. The property owner is not present and I have not been in contact with the property owner or a representative. The city is requesting 10 days to comply or abatement.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. Talk to me about the conditions on the property that you believe constitute a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the city.
Yes.
What is it about the conditions that you're particularly concerned about?
Sure. So I did not cite for the abandoned vehicles that are on property. I'm pretty much going to bring that to another hearing. Nevertheless, there are individuals that are potentially living in the vehicles. They're causing the area to be dirty, trash, and debris. Sanitation reported the property to me. It's already rendered fines for other violations, such as not having a boarding certificate and paint. But sanitation brought the property to my attention because the trash and debris is steadily moving from the sidewalk onto the roadway area. And it's becoming a nuisance, and individuals living on the street, this is the in alleyway street, they are also complaining about the trash and debris that's just building up behind.
Do you think the trash and debris may constitute a habitat for disease or, or potentially for vermin?
In the overgrowth, that's well correct, yes.
All right, KCE 25124491, I make the following findings of fact and law, I find the property in violation of the listed sections 18106A, trash and debris, 9471C, the outdoor storage, 18106B, the excessive growth, and 944462E, the edging. I further find that the condition of the property constitutes a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the City of West Palm Beach by providing habitat for vermin and potentially disease. Respondent has 10 days to come into compliance. In the failure of compliance, I authorize the city to enter the property and abate any and all violations. I hereby assess the cost of the abatement against the property and property owner.
Number 21, case number CE 25124473, address 524 Likursky Street.
All right, Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach, Code Enforcement. This property was reported to the Code Enforcement Division by the West Palm Beach Police Department. The property, the lot is vacant. It's a vacant lot. I completed an initial inspection on December 5th of 2025 and cited the property owner for multiple violations. On January 20th of 2026, I completed a re-inspection and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code sections: 18106A, trash and debris; 18106B, overgrowth; 94302A4, fence repair. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. The notice of violation was posted at the property in City Hall on December 9th. I completed the affidavit of posting as well on December 9th. And the notice of violation was noticed by certified and regular mail on December 15th of 2025. Certified mail was signed for on December 19th of 2025. I took the photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property. The photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed during my investigation. The property owner is not present and I have not made contact with the property owner or a representative. The city is requesting a split order for this property. For violations 18106A and 18106B, the city is requesting 10 days to comply. If no compliance, the city is asking for abatement. For violations 94302A4, which is the fence repair, the city is requesting 45 days to comply or $100 per day fine until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. Officer Lattimore, talk to me about the conditions on the property that you believe constitute a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the city.
Yes, it's trash and debris, excessive growth, and it's becoming an environment where our unhoused population is building up on the property. Right now, I think there's roughly 4, possibly 5 people actively living on the vacant lot, and in its unsanitary conditions.
You believe the unsanitary conditions may be a breeding ground for disease and vermin?
Yes.
Case number CE 25124473, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 18106A and 18106B, specifically the trash and debris and excessive growth. Respondent has 10 days to bring those into compliance, or the city is, well, I guess I should point out, I make a finding that the condition of that property constitutes a threat to the health, safety, and welfare of the city of West Palm Beach as a breeding ground for vermin and disease. Respondent has 10 days to come into compliance. In the absence of compliance, the city is authorized to enter and abate any and all violations. I hereby assess the cost of said abatement against the property and property owner. Respondent is also in violation of 94302A4, the fences and disrepair. Respondent has 45 days to bring that into compliance, or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Number 22, case number CE 25124499, address 410 Ivernia Street, 118.
Don Williams, Code Enforcement. 410 Ivernia Street Partners LLC was cited for 78-6-1, which is the numbering size of that building. This was a complaint that came from our Planning and Zoning Department. I did conduct an inspection, and I did observe that the numbering was too small. They need to comply with commercial standards, which is 6 inches. I cited this property on December 15th, 25. Certified mail, regular mail mailed out December 31st of 25. City Hall and the property was posted December 16th of 25. No contact with the property owner. And it's my recommendation to recommend 30 days to comply or a fine of $100 per day.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony and evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. So this is just the numbers are too small?
Yep, too small. There are 3 inches, should be 6 for
All
commercial.
right, case CE 25124499 to make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. Find the property in violation of Code Section 7861. The numberings are too small. Respondent has 30 days to come to compliance or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Number 23, case number CE 25104218, address 319 Clematis Street, 300.
Don Williams, Code Enforcement. This business, Near Ventures Partners, was cited for business tax receipt. That is 882-144. It was cited on October 20th of 25. And certified mail, regular mail was sent out December 15th of 25. I personally hand-delivered the notice to the property on December 5th of 25, and there's a signed signature on file. There is a current BTR, business tax receipts. However, it's on hold due to the fact that the business is not registered in Sunbiz. So I had no contact with the owner of the business. My recommendation today is 30 days to comply or a fine of $100 per day.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony and evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. In case CE 25104218, to make the following findings of fact and law. Find notice is sufficient. Find the property in violation of 82144. Business tax receipt is required. 30 days to come into compliance or fine of $100 per day.
Number 24, case number CE 2510422.
That business, Blue Ivory Communications LLC, did comply this morning, so that was complied.
My favorite.
Okay. All right, number 25, case number CE 25124500, address 410 Ivernia Street, 117.
Okay, Don Williams again, Code Enforcement. This business was cited on December 15th of 25. They were cited for a business tax receipt, 82-144, a certificate of use, 22-32A, and the numbering size, which is 78-6-1. This complaint came from the City of West Palm Beach Zoning Department about the lettering. Also observed that there was no business tax in the city system, so I also cited for the business tax receipt. Certified mail, regular mail was mailed out December 22nd of 25. City Hall and the property was posted December 16th of 25. No contact with the owner of the property or the business. And my recommendation today would be 30 days to comply or $100 per day fine thereafter.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony and evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. This salon is continuing to operate?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, in case CE 2512450, I make the following findings of fact and law. Find notice is sufficient. Find the property in violation of 2232A, 78-6-1, and 82144, business tax receipt. Numbering sizes and certificate of use. Respondent has 30 days to come into compliance or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Number 26, case number CE 2510414, address 319 Clematis Street, 300.
Don Williams, Code Enforcement. This business, Inner City Innovators, was cited for business tax receipt, 82-144, cited October 20th of 25. Certified mail, regular mail sent out December 15th of 25. City Hall and the property posted. Correction, I actually hand-delivered the notice of violation on December 5th of 25. There's a signed copy on file. There is a current business tax receipt. However, they need to do a address change. They're currently located business tax at 313 Detroit Street, but now they're operating from the location at 319 Clematis Street. So it's my recommendation today for 30 days to comply or a fine of $100 per day.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony and evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. So if I understand this one correctly, they have a BTR, but
Yes.
it's for a different address and they moved?
Correct.
So all they have to do is come in and
Do a new
change the
application, do a new application with a new address.
And that's doable within 30 days?
30 days is enough, more than enough.
KCE 25104-214, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 82144, business tax receipt. Respondent has 30 days to come to compliance or fine of $100 per day issue.
Thank you.
Number 30, case number CE 25114301, address 814 45th Street.
Good morning, Kishana Watson-Foster, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. While on routine patrol, I observed several violations on the property located at 814 45th Street. The violation includes section 94-71-C, outdoor storage. They had plastic containers along with miscellaneous items on the side of the property. 81-108-G, paint, discoloration of the structure. 34-102-A, inoperative vehicle. They had a red car in the front with no tag. 18-106-L, landscape requirements. There's areas in the front yard that is still missing grass. 18-106-A, clean and sanitary, needs pressure cleaning in the front yard. And 94-485-E, surfacing of the driveway are broken areas that need to be repaired. I initiated my investigation on November 7th, 2025. The city issued a notice of violation which included the violation, my contact information, and provided notice of today's hearing. The notice was mailed by both certified and regular mail on November 19, 2025 by the city clerk. The certified mail was received and signed for on November 24, 2025. In addition, I posted the notice of violation at the property and City Hall on November 10, 2025, and I completed an affidavit of posting which is located in the case file. On January 20th, 2026, I revisited the property and found that it remains out of compliance. Photographs were taken during both my initial and follow-up visits. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict violations as I've observed them. I have not been in contact with the property owner. At this time, the city is requesting 30 days to comply or a fine of $100 per day.
Thank you for your testimony. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony, into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. What's the outdoor storage?
So there are plastic containers on the side, there are blocks, there are other miscellaneous items on there.
The surface parking was that one vehicle parking to the left of the home on the grass or dirt or whatever it was?
Without tag.
What's the paint issue?
The structure, it needs painting. It's around the window, it's all discolored.
And there's an abandoned vehicle?
Yeah, the vehicle has no tag.
Okay. And landscaping needs grass. Is the clean and sanitary, is that the trash and debris I saw?
Yeah, for most part, they did remove most of the trash.
Is that still an issue?
No, they still need to pressure clean the area.
Okay. And the overgrowth?
The overgrowth is resolved.
That's resolved?
Yes.
Okay. But 18106A is still because of the pressure cleaning?
Correct.
All right. All right, in case CE 25114301, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of the listed code sections except for 7404C3. I adopt by reference to testimony of the code officers the nature of those violations. Respondent has 30 days to come into compliance or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Number 31, case number CE 25114438, address 1708 37th Street.
Kishana Watson-Foster, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. While on routine patrol, I observed several violations at the property located at 1708 37th Street, with only one remaining outstanding, 18103.B, condition of structure. Their fascia board needs to be either repainted or painted. I initiated my investigation on November 25th, 2025. The city issued a notice of violation, which included the violation, my contact information, and provided notice of today's hearing. The notice was mailed by both regular and certified mail on December 4th, 2025 by the city clerk. The certified mail was received and signed for on December 10th, 2025. I posted the property and City Hall on November 26, 2025, and I completed an affidavit of posting, which is located in the case file. On January 20, 2026, I revisited the property and found that it remained out of compliance. Photographs were taken during both my initial and follow-up visit. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict violations I observed them. I have not been in contact with the property owner. At this time, the city is requesting 30 days to comply or a fine of $100 per day.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. So what is outstanding here?
The fascia board. It needs either to be repaired or painted.
That's 18103B.
That's correct.
Can you describe to me what the, well,
So the discoloration, and it looks either it's rotten or it needs to just be painted.
and they did everything else?
They did everything else.
You said you've had no contact with them?
No contact.
All right, KCE 2511443A to make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient, I find the property in violation of 18103B, specifically the fascia. Respondent has 30 days to come to compliance, or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Number 33, case number CE 25094040, address 4215 Greenwood Avenue.
Kishana Watson Foster, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm. While on routine patrol, I observed several violations at the property located at 4215 Greenwood Ave. The outstanding violations are 94-71-C, outdoor storage. They still have wood and plastic containers. 94-446-2-E, edging, as their sidewalk needs to be edged, it's encroaching the sidewalk. 18-106-L, landscape requirement. There are still areas in the yard where missing sod. I initiated my investigation on August 26, 2025. The city issued a notice of violation, which include the violation, my contact information, and provide the notice of today's hearing. The notice was mailed by both regular and certified mailed on January 6, 2026 by the city clerk. The certified mail was received and signed for on January 12, 2026. In addition, I posted the property in City Hall on December 29, 2025, and I completed an affidavit of posted, which is located in the case file. And January 2026, I revisited the property and found that it remained out of compliance. Photographs were taken during my initial and follow-up visit. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations as I have observed them. I have been in contact with the property owner. At this time, the city is requesting 30 additional days or $100 fine.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. So we have the outdoor storage, the landscaping, which is the missing sod, and the edging?
Correct.
In case CE 250944040, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 9471C, which is the outdoor storage. 18106L, the landscaping is missing sod, and 944462E, there needs to be proper edging on the property. Respondent has 30 days to come into compliance or fine of $100 per name issue.
Number 39, case number CE 251143888, address 932 43rd Street.
So we have you're missing 35.
Oh, yes, so scratch that. Number 35, case number CE 25114-315, address 928 37th Street.
Kishana Watson Foster, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. 928 37th Street. I received a complaint from the tenant for roofing. While investigating the complaint, there were several violations observed. The violation includes sections 18-103.B, condition of structure. Fascia board needed to re-repair. It had rotten wood. 18-106-L, landscape requirement. There are bare areas in the yard, missing grass. 74-4-C-3, overgrowth. There are areas in the side and front that need to be trimmed. 78-6-4, numbering color. It needs to be in contrast colors. 18-106-G, paint, discoloration of the structure. I initiated my investigation on November 10, 2025. The city issued a notice of violation, which include the violation, my contact information, and provide the notice of today's hearing. The notice was mailed by both regular and certified mail on November 18, 2025 by the city clerk. The certified mail was received and signed for as of yesterday. In addition, I posted the notice of violation at the property in City Hall on November 13, 2025, and I completed an affidavit of posting, which is located in the case file. On January 20, 2026, I revisited the property and found that it remained out of compliance. Photographs were taken during both my initial and follow-up visits. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations as I have observed them. I have not been in contact with the property owner. At this time, the city is requesting 30 days to comply or a fine of $100 per day.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. Case CE 25114315, I make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient, I find the property in violation of 18103B. The fascia needs to be repaired and the rotten wood removed. 18106L, the landscaping needs to replace the missing grass. 744C3, the overgrowth needs to be trimmed. 7864, the proper coloring for the numbering. And 18106G, the painting, especially in the areas of discolorization. Respondent has 30 days to come to compliance or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Number 37, case number CE 25114-321, address 924 42nd Street.
Kishana Watson Foster, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. While on routine patrol, I observed several violations located at the property 924 42nd Street. The violation include 18-106-A, clean and sanitary. There was trash and debris in the front. 22-32-A, certificate of use. I did speak with a tenant, so I know it's been rented. 78-6-4, numbering color, needs contrasting colors. 94-71-C, outdoor storage, as they have a lot of things outside. 18-103-B, condition of structure, discoloration and repair of the fascia board. 22-441, license, business tax receipt for rental. I initiated my investigation on November 10, 2025. The city issued a notice of violation which identified the violation, my contact information, and provided notice of today's hearing. The notice was mailed by both regular and certified mail on November 24, 2025 by the city clerk. The certified mail was received and signed for on December 3, 2025. In addition, I posted the property and city hall on November 20th, 2025, and I completed an affidavit of posting, which is located in the case file. And January 20th, 2026, I revisited property and found that it remained out of compliance. Photographs were taken during my initial and follow-up visits. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations as I observed them. I have not been in contact with the property owner. At this time, the city is requesting 21 days to comply or a fine of $150.
Thank you for your testimony. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. How many days were you asking for?
21.
Why 21?
Because they already got 60 and they did nothing.
I'm sorry?
They already got 60 days and they did nothing.
I'm still going to give them 30.
Okay.
In case CE 25114-321, I make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient, I find the property in violation of 18106A. Clean and sanitary, there's trash and debris on the property. 2232A, they need a certificate of use for their rental property with tenants. 7864, the kind they asked you was contrasting color in their numbering. 79471C, the outdoor storage needs to be removed. 18103B, the fascia needs to be repaired. And 22441, the rental license needs to be obtained. Respondent has 30 days to come into compliance or fine of $150 per day may issue.
Number 39, case number CE 25114-388, address 932 43rd Street.
Kishana Watson Foster, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. While on routine patrol, I observed several violations at a property located at 932 43rd Street. The violation includes section 18-106-L, landscape requirement, missing sod in the front, 18-106-G, paint, discoloration of the structure, 94-71-C, outdoor storage, they still have a tire sitting on the side, 18-103-B, condition of structure, there's damage to the column and the front door area, 74-34-A-1-H, trash can in public view, and it's still sitting on the side of the structure. I initiated my investigation on November 18, 2025. The city issued a notice of violation, which included the violation, my contact information, and the notice for today's hearing. The notice was mailed by both regular and certified mail on November 21st, 2025 by the city clerk. The certified mail was received and signed for on November 28, 2025. In addition, I posted a notice of violation at the property and city hall on November 20th, 2025. And I completed an affidavit of postage, which is located in the case file. On January 20th, 2026, I revisited the property and found that it remained out of compliance. Photographs were taken during my initial and follow-up visit. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations as I have observed them. I have not been in contact with the property owner. At this time, the city is requesting 30 days to comply or a fine of $100 a day.
Thank you, Officer. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. The parking on unpaved, that's in compliance?
Yes, they stopped parking on the grass.
But everything else still going, huh?
Correct.
All right. In CE 25114388, I make the following findings of fact in life. I notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 18106G. The property needs paint, 9471C. The outdoor storage needs to be removed, 18103B. The structure needs to be repaired, specifically the column and surrounding area, 7434A1H. The trash can needs to be removed from public view, and 18106L. The landscaping needs to be repaired. Respondent has 30 days to bring the property in compliance or a fine of up to $100 per day, Misha.
Thank you.
All right, other matters. We are moving on to the other matters agenda, which I suspect most of you are here for. When you hear your case called, go ahead and proceed to the podium on my right-hand side, which is right over here. The city will introduce the case, then you'll have the opportunity to ask me for any remedy that you're looking for. It is important in this particular case to remember that you have to ask me for something in order for me to grant you something. So you have to, think as you're sitting there, think carefully about what you want to ask me, after which I will make a ruling. This is a quasi-judicial hearing, which means the formal rules of evidence do not apply here. However, oral testimony is taken under oath under penalty of perjury. So if you're going to testify today, or you think you might testify, or there's a possibility that you might testify, I'd ask you that you rise and raise your right hand so that you can be sworn in. Anyone that's going to talk? Got to stand up. If you don't stand up and raise your right hand, you don't get to talk. All right. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate under penalty of perjury and the laws of the state of Florida? All right, please be seated. All right, you can go ahead and call the first one.
Number 51, case number CE 24082557, address 735 Selkirk Street.
Hold on, we gotta wait for Mark. He's outside.
Is there a reason they went outside? Are they coming back? Officer Joyce, do you need a few minutes?
No, she's making a phone call, but she's going to be at the end, so she'll have some time.
Okay.
Okay. Are we live?
We are. We called case 51, CE 24082557.
Okay. 735 Selkirk Street. This is Gonzalez. Come up here, please. Okay. For CE 24082557, the property was initially cited for overgrown grass and weeds, sod required in the parkway, blocking the right-of-way or sidewalk, and trash and debris. It was ordered on October 2nd of 24 to comply by October 23rd of 24. Fine started October 24th of 24. It was a $100 a day fine. Complied on January 6th of 25. It was 74 days for a $7,400 lien. I contacted the owner and this morning, and we reached an agreement to reduce the lien to $1,110, and with 120 days to pay.
Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
Hi, sorry, no speak English, no entiendo nada.
Your name?
Mi nombre? Judelin González, Peña González.
Do we have anyone that can translate?
Maybe, you want me to check?
I can
try. You want to try?
Hi, please. Thank you.
No, you just go next to her so that she could hear you.
Hi, thank you.
So I think you want to ask if she agrees.
Yeah, the city is representing that you agreed to a reduced fine of $1,110 payable in 120 days. Is that correct?
Lo que pregunta es
$110.
$1,110 in how long?
120 days.
En 120 días. Dile que sí. Sí, está, she agreed.
She agrees. Okay, great, thank you. All right, in case CE 24082557, I reduced the fine from $7,400 to $1,110 payable within 120 days. If it's not paid by 120 days, it does return to the original amount. Can you tell her that?
Lo tiene que pagar en 120 días porque si no después puede cambiar. Okay. Pero vos le quieres preguntar algo. Sí, por favor. Can she ask you something?
Yes, of course.
Dile que yo quisiera saber cuál es el motivo de esa multa tan grande que me pusieron, que nunca lo supe. Y quisiera, aunque la voy a pagar, pero antes de irme quisiera saber qué fue lo que hice.
So she doesn't know what is the issue, why she's paying what she's paying, pretty much. I mean, she agrees on, doing the payment, but she doesn't know why she has to pay. What is the reason?
There was a fine for excessive growth on the property for 74 days.
Okay, excessive what?
Growth.
Es como que hay algo excesivo en la foto se puede ver del césped y todo lo que se dejó como de basura.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Gracias por traducirme.
Thank you, ma'am.
¿Me puedo ya?
Number 45, case number CEB LD 23080423, address 1220 Okeechobee Road.
Good morning, Mark Joyce. For CEBLD 23080423 at 1220 Okeechobee Road, the property was originally cited for building work without required permits, and it was ordered on 1/3/24 to comply by 2/17/24. The fine started on 2/18 of 24. It was a $50 a day fine. The comply date was 3/14/24, ran for 25 days. The fine is $1,250. We agreed to an 85% reduction, which is $187.50, and with 120 days to pay.
Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
Judy Leibovit,
And your relation to the owner of Sweet Cakes LLC?
I own it.
The city is representing that you've agreed to a reduction of fine from $1,250 to $187.50. Good negotiating. Payable within 120 days.
Yes, sir.
Are you agreeable to that?
Yes, sir. Can I say something, though?
Yes, ma'am.
And I said to Mr. Joyce, the builder, the guy that did it, told me that he had a permit, so I just want that to be, somewhere in the something.
I appreciate it. Believe it or not, that is not an uncommon story. Yeah. All right, in case CEB LD 23080423, the fine is reduced from $1,250 to $187.50, payable within 120 days. Please remember, if it's not paid within that 120 days, it does return to the original amount.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
So
I have one more.
One more.
Oh, I have another, okay.
Number 46, case number CE 200-30294, address 1220 Okeechobee Road.
Okay, CE 200-30294. The case was originally cited for mechanical work performed without required permits and inspections. It was ordered on 11/4 of 20 to comply by 12/19 of 20. The fine started on 12/20 of 20. It was a $25 a day fine, ran for 1,181 days. Total fine is $29,525. We've agreed prior to the hearing to reduce the lien 85% to $4,428.75.
Welcome back.
120 days also.
So the city is representing that you've agreed to a reduction of the fine from $29,525 to $4,428.75, payable within 120 days?
Correct.
All right, case CE 200-30294, I reduced the fine from $29,525 to $4,428.75, payable within 120 days. If it's not paid within that time frame, it does return to the original amount.
May I say something about it or no?
You can.
So this happened right before the pandemic, and I literally called and came down, spoke with Mr. Brown like I cannot tell you how many times, and it was all because nobody would come talk to me during the pandemic. And then the city's website went down, and nobody would have anything to do with me. So I don't know, I just don't think it's fair, this entire thing, because I did everything I could to get this worked out.
I appreciate that, ma'am.
But I still have to pay $4,000.
Well, you walked in here having to pay $30,000.
I know, but we tried since the very beginning to get this taken care of, and nobody would
I think
answer
that's
me or
probably why
talk
the
to me.
city was willing to reduce it so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Who gives me paperwork?
You'll get it in the mail, right?
Oh, I have to wait for it?
Yeah, within 10 days.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Number 50, case number CE 24041883, address 4101 South Olive Avenue.
Which number?
Number 50. Okay, it's for CE 24041883, 4101 South Olive Avenue. The property was cited for outdoor storage, trash and debris, exterior paint, garbage can placement, and exterior repairs on the property. It was ordered on 6/5/24 to comply by 7/5/24. Fine started on 7/6/24. It was a $100 a day fine. Comply date was 5/2/25. It ran for 300 days. It was $30,000 lien. They literally demolished the house, so now it's a vacant lot. So we agreed to reduce the fine to $3,000 payable within 90 days. We reached an agreement prior to this hearing.
Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
Yes, Caridad Diaz.
The city is telling me that you've reached an agreement to reduce the fine from $30,000 to $3,000 payable within 90 days. Is that your understanding?
That's correct. I agree.
Okay. In case CE 24041883, I reduced the fine from $30,000 to $3,000 payable within 90 days. If it's not paid within that 90 days, it does return to the original amount. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Number 42, case number CEBLD 23110-464, address 610 10th Street.
Okay, for CEBLD 23110-464, the property was cited for interior remodeling and roofing and windows without the required permits and inspections. It was ordered on 3/5/25 to comply by 8/2/25. The fine started on 8/3/25. It was a $25 a day fine. Comply date was 9/15/25. It was ran for 43 days for a total lien of $1,075. We agreed prior to this hearing for an 85% reduction to $161.25.
Sir, can you tell me your name?
Richard Godfrey.
I'm sorry, one more time?
Richard Godfrey.
And what's your relation to the owner, sir?
So I'm the owner.
Oh, you are the owner?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It says Godfrey, no?
Say what?
Is Godfrey?
Yeah, that's
Godfrey,
me.
okay. All right, the city's representing that you've agreed to reduce you've reached an agreement to reduce the fine from $1,075 to $161.25. Is that accurate?
Yes.
How many days did we say here?
How many days do you need?
30 days.
I want to make it 60 just to be safe. Just
Okay.
We're trying to keep you out of default here.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
All right, and CBLD 23110464, reduce the fine from $1,075 to $161.25 payable within 60 days. If you don't pay within the 60 days, it does return to the original amount, so you probably want to avoid that deadline if possible.
Gotcha.
Number 48, case number CE 23020-172, address 610 10th Street.
Okay, for CE 23020-172, the property was cited for maintain fence and wall, pressure clean house and wall, trim back bushes and trees, install a dress on the building, clean up the entire property, overgrow trash and debris. This was a previous owner. He was before he purchased it. So it was ordered on 5/3/23 to comply by 8/1/23. The fine started on 8/2/23. It was a $50 a day fine, 154 days. The current fine is $7,700. It was the previous owner who was in violation. He fixed up the property rather nicely, and so the city agreed to a 90% reduction, or $770.
How many days?
You want 60 days?
60 days, yeah.
Sir, is that your understanding as well?
Yes.
All right. Case CE 230200172. I reduced the fine from $7,700 to $770 payable within 60 days.
All right, number 40, case number CE 220-50355, address 4301 Pinewood Avenue.
Oh, then there's one more, 610 10th Street. Did I? Number 49, I believe.
Yeah,
Okay.
same respondent.
Scratch that. Number 49, case number CE 1706022, address 610 10th Street.
Okay, we were not able to reach an agreement on this one, so for CE 17060222, 610 10th Street, the property was cited for outdoor storage, garbage can placement, property needs paint, fence and wall needs repair. It was ordered on 8/2 of 2017 to comply by 10/1 2017. The fine started on 10/2 2017. Daily fine of $100 a day ran for 2,284 days. Current fine, $228,400. He is a new owner. This was with the previous owner. The city would request a reduction of 85% to $34,260.
Okay, so what are you asking me for, and why should I grant it to you?
Well, it was a previous owner. I didn't know about a lot of these things, and I've spent so much money trying to, comply with the city and everything, and I just don't have, that kind of money to, it's a rather large amount.
What's your ask?
I'm asking if I could pay maybe $3,500.
That's a big ask.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate, everything, all the help the city's been doing to help me out. But, this property it's been all kind of things going on. There was even a reverse mortgage that was on the property that I didn't know anything about.
I'll tell you what I'm willing to do. I'm willing to reduce the city's offer roughly in half. I can reduce it to 17. How much time do you need?
I guess, is that the best I can? Maybe, what about
You came in here with
10,000?
228, the city offered 34, and I gave you 17. I think you did pretty good. I'll tell you what, since I'm in a good mood, I'll make it 15 even.
Okay. All right. I'll take it.
How much time you need?
60 days.
Reduced to 15,000, payable within 60 days.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I get a copy?
I'm going to send it to you in the mail. Yeah. Number 44, case number CE 24031694, address 14204 Glenmore Drive.
Okay. For CE 24031694, 14204 Glenmore Drive, the property was originally cited for a rental license and certificate of use. It was ordered on 5/15 of 24 to comply by 6/14 of 24. The fine started on 6/15 of 24. It was $200 a day fine. Ran for, it was complied on 10/22/25, ran for 494 days. It's the same corporation or company that owns the property. The fine is $98,800. The city is offering a reduction of 75% to $24,700.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Ryan Wenrick.
I'm sorry, Ryan.
Ryan Wenrick.
Can you spell that for me?
Wenrich.
Sir, what is your relation to the owner, MFR 1995 Investment LLC?
My wife her father's the owner. I was the realtor for the transactions. I'm also
Do they know that you're here on their behalf?
Yes. My wife is sitting there too as well.
Okay. So I guess you have a fine of $98,800. The city has offered to reduce it to $24,700. What are you asking me for, sir?
$5,000, sir. And the reason I'm asking for $5,000 is the owner bought it for his daughter, and she lived in it. And they had to sign a lease with, of course, to get accepted by the HOA. And so they turned that in. And when they turned it in, it looks as if that it's a certified rental, which it is, but they're not paying any money. It's just ownership to his daughter. And the address where the LLC was created is in an office in Miami, and they have not sent any mail, email, anything regarding a violation or anything in that fact for the MRF. And so as soon as we heard about it, that's when we came into a compliance. And we only heard about it because we sold a property and all the money was held in escrow because of what has happened.
That's a lot of escrow.
Yeah, it is.
See, one of the ways that I'm supposed to weigh this is the severity, and this did go on for a while. The reason that they do these things, of course, is to make sure that when they inspect properties that people aren't living in difficult conditions, so I have to weigh that. And the other thing is that if it's a subsequent owner that didn't really do it, then I can certainly weigh that to your advantage. In this particular case, it's the same owner, which doesn't really allow me a great deal of leeway here. The city have any wiggle room on your offer?
Well, prior to the hearing, I did offer him 85% reduction, so that would be $14,820. He didn't take that, but I'm usually successful with that offer. But so I could offer that again.
Just to be super clear, 100%, if we knew that there was a violation, it would have been paid for right away. It's only $125. The inspection, he came out and cleared it right away, no issues, no problem. He didn't have to come back. I just became a real estate agent, and that's partially my fault for not speaking forth to the owner because I didn't know that, hey.
All right, here's what I'll reduce it to 10. How much time do you need?
Well, it's in escrow, so it's going to be taken out right away. Is it possible to do 8, sir?
I'm going to do 10.
You're going to do 10?
That's fair.
Okay.
How much time do you need?
No. We can do it within 15, 30 days.
Let's make it 60 to be safe, I would say, again, just to give him extra time.
All right, in case CE 240316994, I'm going to reduce it from $98,800 to $10,000 payable within 60 days.
Thank you.
Number 47, case number CE 201-00178, address 705 58th Street.
Okay, for CE 201-00178, 705 58th Street, the property was originally cited for high grass, inoperable vehicles, landscape maintenance, certificate of use, rental license, and address characters. It's the same owner. It's ordered on 11/18/2020 to comply by 12/8/2020. Fine started on 12/9/2020. It was a $100 a day fine, 1,090 days. Current fine is $109,000. I reached agreement with a representative prior to the hearing to reduce the lien to $16,350 payable within 6 months.
I'm sorry, what was the amount you reached?
$16,350, or 80 or 85%
3 months?
reduction. Yeah.
90 days? Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
Attorney Jill Berkman.
I said 6 months, but
6
yeah,
months?
6
I'm sorry.
months.
180 days. I'm sorry, one more time, ma'am.
Jill Berkman, Jillberkman.
Ms. Berkman, you're representing U.S. Bank Trust.
Yes, I am today.
The city is representing to me that you've agreed to reduce fine from $109,000 to $16,350 payable within 180 days. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
All right, in case CE 201000178, I reduced the fine from $109,000 to $16,350 payable within 180 days.
So there are 3 other liens on this agenda. They're owned also by the U.S. Bank Trust. Are you going to do them too?
Yes,
Okay,
I'm on
okay.
the forward on that one.
Okay.
All right, so why don't we do this?
It's number 40, 41, and 43.
All right, let's do 40 then.
All right, number 40, case number CE 22050-355, address 4301 Pinewood Avenue.
Okay, for CE 22050-355, 4301 Pinewood Avenue, the property was originally cited for unpaved parking, overgrowth, outdoor storage, trash and debris, landscape maintenance, and address characters. It was ordered on 8/17 of 22 to comply by 9/16 of 22. Fine started on 9/19 of 22. There's a daily fine of $100. Number of days was 477. Comply date was 1/9 of 24. The current fine is $47,700. It's the same owner. It's they owned it at that time. The city would normally ask for, like, I guess we're going to ask for a 75% reduction to or reduce the lien to 25% or $11,925. I could say we didn't have a chance to negotiate these because she was not sure whether or not she was representing these or not, so.
You guys want to take a couple minutes and talk these through? And then
Sure,
let me know what
if
you
that's
want to
okay
do?
with you
All
guys.
right, so let's take 5.
We'll do that.
All right, I hereby call us back into order. I think we were on case 40, CE 22050-355.
Yes, this was during the same ownership, so we're going to reduce the lien to 85% to $7,155, and we've reached an agreement. How long do you need?
90 days.
90 days.
So the city's representing that you've reached an agreement to reduce this from $47,700 to $7,155, payable within 90 days. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
All right, in case CE 22050-355, reduce the fine from $47,700 to $7,155, payable within 90 days.
Number 41, case number CE 111-00196, address 4301 Pinewood Avenue.
Okay, CE 111-00196, unsanitary, it was originally cited for unsanitary conditions, born secure, and a boarding certificate. This was a prior owner during this case. So it was ordered on 12/7 of 2011 to comply by 1/9 of 12. Fine started on 1/10 of 12. Complied on 6/25, 2019. The fine ran for 2,725 days. Current fine, $272,300. Because it's a prior owner, will agree to 90% reductions, or we reached an agreement prior to the hearing to a 90% reduction to $27,230. I guess payable within the same 90 days.
Yes, that'd be fine with me.
City's representing an agreement to reduce from $272,300 to $27,230, payable within 90 days. Is that accurate?
Yes, it is, sir.
All right, in case CE 111-00196, I reduced the fine from $272,300 to $27,230, payable within 90 days.
Number 43, case number CE 201-20146, address 4301 Pinewood Avenue.
This case also occurred under the same ownership. So for CE 201-20146, 4301 Pinewood Avenue, the case was originally cited for trash can placement, inoperable vehicles, and unpaved parking. It was ordered on 1/20 of 21 to comply by 2/19 of 21. Fine started on 2/22 of 21. It was a $100 a day fine, ran for 1,051 days. Complied date was 1/9 of 24. Current fine is $105,100. It happened under their ownership, so we've agreed to reduce the fine or lien to 85% to $15,765. 90 payable within the same 90 days.
So the city's representing an agreement to reduce it from $105,100 to $15,765. Did I read that right? Over 90 days? Is that your understanding as well?
Yes,
And
sir.
you're in agreement?
Yes.
All right, case CE 201-20146, I reduced the fine from $105,100 to $15,765, payable within 90 days.
Thank you.
I think that's it, right?
That's it.
All right. Seeing no further business before us, we are adjourned.